สวัสดีครับยินดีต้อนรับสู่เรื่องสั้น by iGen สำหรับเอพิโซดนี้พบกับเรื่องสั้นภาษาอังกฤษเรื่องแจ็คผู้ฆ่ายักษ์พร้อมแล้วไปฟังกันเลยครับ Once upon a time there was a boy named Jack who lived with his mother and their cow Milky White. They were very poor, only living on milk for Milky, but they loved each other and lived happily. Until one day there was no more milk Milky could make. Jack's mom came to him and said, Jack, we have no more food now. We have to sell Milky, or we'll starve to death. Being a good boy, Jack had to take Milky to the market as his mom asked. On the halfway to the market, Jack met a funny-looking merchant surrounded by the crowd. He was selling something with a small bag in his hand. Jack was very curious and went up to the crowd. Wow, in the bag there were some shining beans. The merchant said to Jack, Hey boy, let's make a deal. I'd like to exchange this bean for your cow. How do you say? Will you take good care of my cow? Jack asked. Of course I will, the merchant replied. Since the merchant seemed kind, Jack made the deal. Jack raced home to show his mom the beans, but his mom was very angry and threw all the beans out of the windows. They had never thought that the beans started to sprout at night and kept growing higher and higher. It was so high that the bean reached above the clouds. The next morning, Jack and Mom awoke and looked outside the window. It was unbelievable. Jack believed that the beanstalk went to somewhere mysterious and it would bring him a good luck. So Jack said goodbye to his mother and climbed up the beanstalk. He climbed and climbed. Finally, he reached the top. There, he saw the huge castle. Jack came into the castle with curiosity. After a while, he saw a hen that could lay golden eggs in a room. The hen sadly told Jack, There are two cruel giants living in this castle. They locked me here, forcing me to lay golden eggs every day. Jack kept walking forward. Suddenly, he heard a tiny cry. Following the sound, he found a little crying girl. The little girl said, I am a harp. The cruel giant locked me here, forcing me to sing for them every day. Jack decided to rescue the golden hen and the fairy harp. He hid himself behind the staircase and waited for the night to come and steal the key. Suddenly, a giant woman came up. Jack was scared and shouted. He ran away quickly, but still was caught by the woman. The old woman tied Jack with vines, decided to eat him the next day. Jack was very scared, but as he saw the golden hen and the fairy harp was forced to sing, he was determined to find a way to save them. It was midnight then. After taking the golden hen and the fairy harp back to their rooms, the old woman and the giant went to sleep. Jack waited until they were sleeping as a log. He untied the vines and climbed down. After saving the golden hen and the fairy harp, he tied a string to the giant's feet. They hadn't gone very far when the woman and the giant woke up. Seeing them had escaped, the woman was very angry and cried, Catch them! Catch them! The giant ran out at once. However, he didn't know his feet were tied with a string. He fell to the ground when he took his first step. Jack seized the chance to run away with the golden hen and the fairy harp. Jack climbed down the beanstalk, carrying the hen and the harp on his back. Soon they reached the ground. The giant was following them closely. Jack ran into his house and took an axe. He chopped the vine down quickly. The giant fell down to the ground and died. From then on, Jack and his mom, with the golden hen and the fairy harp, lived happily together. The golden hen laid an egg every day. Jack and his mom would not worry about their life anymore. The fairy harp sang for them. They lived happily as a family. The moral of this story is, if you know it's wrong, then it's wrong, no matter how much you justify what you're doing. Thank you for listening and see you next time.